Hey everybody, welcome back. This week we're going to be covering William Shakespeare's comedy, Twelfth Night. This is the first video in the material form context videos for the week. And like normal, we are starting with um, materials of William Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. All right, let me move my head out of the way so you can get the best glimpse of this artifact. Okay, so the material form that we are focusing on this week in relation to Twelfth Night is this very important book of Shakespeare's plays that is known as the First Folio. That's how it gets referred to. That's how it gets referred to by scholars and people who study Shakespeare in particular. It's an incredibly important book. It's an incredibly consequential book, both for Shakespeare studies and the history of books and printing more broadly. The reason why this book is so valuable is because this book, printed in 1623 after Shakespeare had died, contains 36 of Shakespeare's plays, all in one place. And without this book, we would not have 18 of the plays that are in this book, meaning there is no other copy of 18 of his plays other than in this book. So if the people who got together and printed this book had decided not to do it, or if they had been stymied in any way by other circumstances, we would be missing a huge amount of Shakespeare's plays. That's one reason why this book is so incredibly valuable. So for example, plays like Twelfth Night, the play we're reading, only exists in this book, as well as plays you may have heard of like As You Like It, Julius Caesar, Macbeth, and The Tempest. So very consequential. Now, as we talk about Shakespeare's First Folio, I want to remind us of some of the differences between quartos, which we've discussed in past lectures, and folio form. So we remember that quartos, for example, are cheaper publications. They're smaller in nature. They're usually paperback, so they're less sturdy. They're not really designed to last very long. And as far as Shakespeare is concerned, his theater company would often print quartos of his plays when they needed to make money fast. This usually happened when the theaters were closed due to plague. It was a common occurrence in London to close down the theaters occasionally because of the public health risks when the bubonic plague was cropping up in London again. So in those moments when Shakespeare's company really needed money, they decided to sell a play that they had performed in the past to make money. So that's one way that Shakespeare's plays have made their way to us in those quarto forms. Folios, on the other hand, are much more expensive. They're bigger. They're only folded in half instead of folded, once and then once to make a smaller version. And they're usually bound with leather. Furthermore, because they're expensive, they usually contain more high status content like Bibles, histories, literature that is regarded as very fine and very important, etc. In fact, folios are rarely at this time period associated with theater or drama because those things were seen as being low class. And we're going to talk about why and how theater was seen as lower class in much more detail in the context video to come. So we'll return to that. So another reason this book is so remarkable, moving my head, is that it contains Shakespeare's plays at all, because as I said, it was pretty rare at this time for folios to be used to print something like drama, which was not seen as very prestigious or important. That's another reason this book is very notable in the history of the book. We have found 235 existing first folios today. They're scattered all over the world in various different rare book libraries and archives. The Folger Shakespeare Library in Washington, D.C. owns about 80 of them, but most of them are kind of scattered throughout the world, and usually libraries own like one or two copies of them. And then finally, here's the first page of Twelfth Night as it looks in the first folio. So you can get a sense of the format of the plays, the look of the text, even the kind of nice page design that signals to you that this is a slightly more upscale book because they've taken the time to include some ornamentation. And you can see these opening lines in which we have a historiated letter that kind of mimics the old manuscript culture. And then the first line right here, if music be the food of love, play on. All right, that's all for the material video. I'll meet you over at the form video.